I don't know.
Well, hello, Coffee Time friends. How are y'all doing? It's me and Mama here on Coffee Time with John and Momma. And it's Friday night. The weekend is here. Can you believe February today is the 18th?
I've lost track.
I think it is. I don't know. Y'all know what day it is. I have no clue. Anyway, it's almost gone. February, one more week, and we'll be closing it out. One more week in one day. We'll be closing it out.
It's unreal.
The third month is ready to begin, March. And that's spring month. That's garden plant month. That's a great time. Good evening, Amanda. Hey, Roxy. How are you? Hey, Edna. Kelly, it's so good to see you all here. We are cooking up a storm tonight. Look down here at my board. It's Friday night. It's the weekend, but I don't want to be all night in the kitchen. And I'm hungry, and I want to just get a good meal going. One of y'all mentioned this the other night, and I said, I'll have that before long, because I've been wanting that. This is the rest of the cabbage head. Don't want to waste. Now, I could have thrown that away last time I used it, but I thought, nah, I'll use that for something, and it's good. Yes, ma'am. This is a good.
I'll have leftovers.
This is a good little bit of cabbage right here. I'll use a little bit of the other because cabbage, it fries way down. Now, in the interest of having you all not be jolted around, I've got this Tupperware griddle, and I put a little, that's bacon grease, bacon renderings, bacon drippings. When we fix bacon, we save that golden goodness, and that's tons of flavor. Normally, I would heat this up and let it cover the pan. That's not necessary, because once it heats, it will cover that pan. I'm going to layer this dish up in this skillet, and I'm going to do one skillet wonder.
Oh, less dishes.
No dishes, one skillet wonder. Now, once this cooks, if you've ever cooked cabbage, you know more and more is a little better, because it just cooks away, because cabbage is mostly water. Cabbage is mostly water. And it's good for us, but there's a lot of water in it, and it will just cook away. I'm going to cut a little piece here off the side. Can y'all see that? Missing that core. Don't need it a whole lot.
No, you don't, do we?
So I'm going to leave a little extra. I'm not going to do I'll leave a little extra on there, and I'll just cut a little wedge here. Mama, you gonna watch that? You
yes,
are the
sir.
best one. I'll see what people are saying here. It says, hi, John and Mama. Missed your videos a few days. We'll have to replay some. Linda, just replay them. They're all on there. Love One Skillet Wonders. I do too, Lee. It's just like, it's a good meal. It's quick, it's easy, it's simple, and it's delicious. And you don't have to dirty every dish in the house. And you don't have to have a bunch of sides and all that. You know, I think at one time people felt like they had to have a meat and two sides and a bread. And Mom and I don't eat like that all the time. We'll fix something, and that's all we have. We don't even go with that mess because we don't eat all that anyway.
Excuse me.
So I'm just cutting this little piece of cabbage Mama just washed, and I'm going to throw it right in there. It's going to look like a lot. Some of y'all are going to say, that's a lot of cabbage. It's not. Trust me. It's not that much. I've fixed whole heads before, and they just kind of wilt away. Here is, let's go back down here to our skillet again. So it's going to look like a heaped up bunch of cabbage here. That skillet is pretty full, but that'll all go away. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Now, this is just red beans. These are dark red kidney beans. I just opened the can, I drained them, and I rinsed them. And I'm just going to put these right on top of that cabbage. All this is going to cook together. One big happy pot. And it'll be delicious. Now, I could have put my meat in there first. I know some of you are going to say, well, John, you should have put that meat in there first. I'm going to stir this around. It's all going to brown, and I don't really want it, it doesn't have to have a crusty brown on it. I just really want it good and warm. I want it good and tender because we're going to use some of this packaged Uncle Ben's rice pilaf with orzo pasta as our base. And I don't really, it don't have to be, the meat doesn't have to be browned and all that. I want it hot, and it will brown because I'm going to roll that when I cook it, okay? So, I'm just going to cut this, and I like to cut it at an angle. I don't know if it's just for looks, or if it is, if it does give you more surface area if you are browning it and doing all that, which some of this will brown. But what I do is I just hold it together, both sides, and I just start cutting, and I cut them together, keep them, and that way I get one knife cut, 2 pieces of meat.
Saving time.
Saving energy, time. And I'm cutting these a little thicker. Sometimes I worry about when I'm making it and browning it, I want them all the exact same. They're all going to get hot. They're all going to be cooked through, and they will brown some. But I'm not worrying so much about making them real extra thin or anything. But this is going to be supper. This is something Mama and I both like. If I want to, I will add a little hot sauce on my plate when I pour it on my plate.
Yeah.
Or if I want to add a little extra seasoning, it doesn't have to all cook in there. I love Frank's hot sauce, and I like to add it sometimes to mine. Mama don't like that, and we won't do that. In fact, the only season this is going to get is that good old universal salt and pepper. And that's all it gets. Now, isn't that pretty already? Now I'm just going to put this meat right here on top. And what will happen is that cabbage is going to release that water. It's going to create that steam. And this meat is going to start steaming and cooking and tenderizing and getting just as juicy as it can be. Then once the cabbage kind of cooks down a minute, I'm going to roll it. I'm going to turn it over and let that meat brown a little bit. And once it's already tender, then it'll brown up. I'm trying to cover it so we'll get more steam. And all the layers.
I need to set that on the stove.
Well, you can if you want to, Mama, and turn it on. Right? You can turn the stove on.
We're going to fix this in them.
That goes to the microwave for 2 minutes. And see here, what I've done is I want a single layer of that meat on there if I can. They don't look too single, does it? I want it so it'll steam good. So that's all covered. And it's going to steam as that cabbage cooks. And that bacon grease is just going to add tons of flavor. That's all there is to this, folks. This is a one-hit wonder. We're going to put this pilaf in the microwave for 90 seconds. We're going to put that on our plates, and we're going to have this sitting here. We're going to scoop it on top. You talk about an easy, quick meal. You can't even go through a drive-thru that quick. There you go, Mama. Normally, I would have showed you that over at the stove, but I would have had to check you over there. And doing a live, there's no pausing that I know of. If there is, somebody tell me. And then that just, it's so shaky. I hate that. So while we're letting that cook, greetings from Louisville, Kentucky. So happy you two are feeling better. Thank you, JoJo. We are happy to be feeling better. Looking forward to a nice, enjoyable, long weekend. I'm off on Monday. I bet a lot of y'all are. President's Day, and we'll enjoy some good long weekend. That extra Monday, it makes Sunday feel even better, doesn't it? Do y'all get that feeling? Now, I love my job. I don't have that Sunday dread or that Sunday knot in my stomach where I'm like, oh, tomorrow is. Somebody was trying to catch a comment, I couldn't see it. Where I'm like, oh, tomorrow's work. It's not that. It's nice to have that extra time. Time is so quick. Hello from Walnut Grove, Alabama. Shirley, of course, you know what I'm thinking of when I hear Walnut Grove. Little House on the Prairie. Am I aging myself? Do you all even know about Little House on the Prairie? I bet some of you do. We used to watch it every evening. Watch Mom and Pa come up on the... Mom was trying to clean right under me. You all see that, didn't you? Mom and Pa come up on the wagon, and them little girls running down the hill. And little Carrie fell. And everybody was just saw little Carrie, but she got right back up. I read somewhere later on that was not planned. They did not plan for her to fall, but they kept it in the show, in the promo, just because it was cute and it didn't hurt her, and she was like a little girl. She fell and got back up. So I always wondered if, was that part of it? It wasn't. They didn't make her fall. She accidentally fell and they left it in. Sometimes that's the very best.
Kids at their natural doings is a whole lot cuter than stage.
Like Mama. She's just natural. She's just a little cute kid being natural.
Being mean.
Hello from Oklahoma, Donna. We love Oklahoma. Hey, Shirley. I love Little House. Yes, I do. And it still comes on occasionally and we watch it. What about Andy Griffith? Still watch it. Love Barney. Love Andy. AB. All of them. We just love all that. We're old people watchers. Old TV people watchers. We like the Mama loves. Mama, tell them your stories.
My stories is I love to watch Leave It to Beaver because that's more like my childhood and the way we had to behave and what they do nowadays. I love it and I watch my Perry Mason in black and white.
Perry Mason, Columbo, Murder, She Wrote.
I like the old ones, but I like the. Some people said, "You mean we watching black and white?" Yeah, I do. That's what we watched television, was black and white when I was little.
Mama, what's your favorite food memory from when you was a child?
Oh, wow.
Barb Marks wants to know.
My favorite memory.
Favorite food memory.
Oh, food memory. Oh, I don't know. Mommy always made us, she thought we had to have a good hot breakfast every morning before we went to school or done anything. So every morning she fixed biscuits and gravy and some kind of meat and stuff. And that's what we had for breakfast. And I still love breakfast food.
Brandy Clark Morton says she's got a family reunion going on here. Everybody's watching. Well, hello to Brandy's family, everybody. Mama, you going to tell them what I've done for you this morning before I had to go to work? Mama, you got all choked up here. You've been doing good for...
Well, it's when it gets dark, I start doing this. They made homemade biscuits, a big pan.
Look at the biscuits I made for Mama this morning.
Fried bacon.
Now here in the South, I made some little smaller biscuits. My hands are clean. I made some smaller biscuits because sometimes Mama likes them small. These would be called cat heads. They're called that because they're big. They claim they're as big as a cat's head. But that's a southern thing. You can see there. Most of the time, I don't make them that big. But this morning, I did. And I fried some bacon. And then I had to work. So Mama made some fried eggs. So we had bacon and biscuits and fried eggs on a Friday morning. Have you ever heard of such, Mama?
I don't know. And you said, we're having it today, so you can't have it tomorrow. I said, well, we'll have something light and get to work tomorrow.
Mama hits me up a lot of times on Saturday morning, and she says, I bet you would like to have some, I bet you'd like to have some biscuits and gravy, wouldn't you? Which is her hinting to me, why don't you make us some biscuits and gravy? Mama claims she likes my gravy, but I like her gravy. She makes it better than me, I think. But she'll say, make me some gravy. So I do. And Mama don't mind to make biscuits, and I love her biscuits. But she likes when I roll them out, I think, and cut them too, don't you, Mama?
Yeah.
I think she does. She usually spoons hers out. I love to watch Gilligan's Island. Kim, I do too. Gilligan's Island. Hazel. Do y'all like Hazel? Love Hazel. She's all time running. The Beverly Hillbillies. You know, I work with, in my offices, a lot of younger people. 20s, 25. And I will mention Beverly Hillbillies and they'll look at me and go, okay. I'm like, y'all know the Beverly Hillbillies? No. We mentioned Laverne and Shirley. The girl who works up front, me and we're talking about Laverne and Shirley, and they're like, who's that? I'm like, you don't know Laverne and Shirley? And I'm like, no.
That was your favorite show.
I love Laverne and Shirley. Famil, Famazel. I don't own the rights to that song, by the way.
What is it, Hassenfelder?
Hassenfelder. Famil, Famazel, Hassen, I don't know, Hassenfelder Corporator, something, I don't know. You'll have to help me on that one. But those was what I grew up with. Gunsmoke. Surely I love Gunsmoke too. The Virginia Wagon Train. Yes, Bonanza. And what about Petticoat? Petticoat Junction. I love Petticoat Junction. They had to ride a train to get to their hotel. It was a good little clean country show. Those biscuits look fluffy. Becky, they were really good. They turned out good. I made a few extras so we would have some for lunch or breakfast or just to eat. So we'll use those probably the next 2 days, won't we, Mama?
Yeah, jelly biscuits.
Mama's still coughing and has some hot tea. Yes, Margaret, she needs some hot tea. Mama, why don't you fix some hot tea with a lemon while we're after supper, maybe?
Yeah.
We both get a little congested every now and then, but praise the Lord, we're much better than we was.
Oh, yeah.
Connie says, Perry Mason, Columbo, I love Lucy. Are my I love Lucy. Hey, Rose Smith, thanks for jumping on with us. Hey, Christy, Little House on the Prairie. You know, that's just a good, wholesome, got a good meaning to it. Even, you know, they had some villain characters on there like Nellie. We didn't hate Nellie. We just want to see what she's going to get into next. She was mean, and little Willie, poor little Willie. Wasn't he always in a mess?
Wasn't Willie and Laura Ingalls.
Brother and sister in real life.
Brother and sister in real life.
The Andy Griffith Show. One of my favorite Andy Griffith shows, and we worked it into a Christmas play at our church one time, was when Barney's in the choir and they tell him to just sing lower and lower and lower and lower. And then they get the guy to sing for him in the back. We did a little funny portion of a Christmas play one time, and we added that little part in there. And I got to play the Barney character. It was interesting. It was funny. In fact, I think we did it 2 years, several years apart, but I think we did do the same Christmas or something 2 years in a row. Not 2 years in a row, but 2 different times. Friends and Seinfeld were good shows. Yes, they were. Those was sort of what I grew up watching, too. When my age come along, probably Little House on the Prairie, and those was in reruns. But, you know, you have all those little sitcoms. Daddy Knows Best, Father Knows Best, and Dennis the Menace, and Leave It to Beaver, and all those shows. They were good, wholesome, funny shows. I love y'all all the way down in Chickamauga, Georgia. Hey there, Angela. We have why do I keep calling her my great aunt? My aunt lived in Georgia, and Mama spent a lot of time there when she was a young girl. We love Georgia. We go there every once in a while. When I Love Lucy was on, she and Ricky did not sleep in the same bed because it was not it wasn't. I remember I read sometime when the very first time that came about, maybe was the Brady Bunch.
They always
when they were allowed to
had to have twin beds in showing.
Yeah. The Brady Bunch was another good show. Alice was a good character on there. Gilligan's Island, Greatest American Hero, and Three's Company. Oh yeah, Three's Company. That was a good one. I'm bringing back my. I still watch some of those on Me TV. Is that what it's on? Me
TV Land.
And TV Land and Antenna TV.
Antenna
Oh, what about Alice and Flo and Vera? Love that show. Love it. Mel. I mean, it was just a good, wholesome show. You know, it always amazed me, and you all pay attention to this. Maybe it's because I worked in a restaurant, but it always amazed me that they had 2 tables and 2 booths and a counter. And they would get so busy, all 3 of them couldn't handle it. And they wouldn't even be sitting at the counter sometime when they said, "We're just so busy." I'm like, You got 4 tables in the whole joint. How did you get so busy? But they always portrayed it as really busy. Sometimes, but I think they had 4 tables. You would think there was a lot of tables, but there wasn't. I love the Andy Griffith show. Granny lived in a little town like that. Really, like Mayberry? It's Norma. What's the city that's in South? I can't remember the name of it. Y'all will help me with that. It's based on a real city, and you can go there. Mount Perrin? No, I don't know. I think that was on the Andy Griffith show.
It was on Mount Pilot.
Mount Pilot. Yes, I grew up watching that with my parents and siblings, Barbara. It was a good TV back then. I'm watching Alice right now. Cameron, what are you watching that on? You must be in a different place. Alice used to come on here at 7 o'clock at night on Me TV, and now they switched her to 11. 11?
And you sit up that late.
I love Alice and Flo and Vera, but I can sit up to 11 just to catch them. Johnny Carson comes on. Sometimes I can sit up to 10 and watch a minute of him. I'll make it long usually. But now, I go to bed early, but I get up early. I'm up at 4:30, 5. You know, I'm out of there. Because I hear this little voice, and it says, coffee. And I answer the call every time.
I would tell that little voice to shut up.
Mama would say, shut up, go back to sleep. The Golden Girls. Oh,
yeah.
I could probably finish about any statement that you could say for the Golden Girls. We love the Golden Girls. Used to come on every Saturday night. What about, let's go way back. Let's go way back to Dukes of Hazzard and Dallas. They were on at the same time. How many of y'all, who shot JR? What a big deal that was. And then the Dukes of Hazzard came on first at 9 o'clock. Dallas came on at 10 o'clock every Friday night. And the Davis family was usually right there with that commotion. We loved it. My dad loved the Dukes of Hazzard. Mama's getting a phone call. Somebody's calling. Anyway, the first night it came on, Dukes of Hazzard, Dad said, now that, I kind of like that show. And I thought, well, it's kind of like right here in our own little community, country folks doing country things. That's the way it works. I hear the little voice as well, but it's louder. Yeah, Roxanne, I hear it sometimes at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I try to go back to sleep for that one, and then I hear it again at 4 and 4:30, and I'm like, oh, let's go get some coffee. Mama's popular. She's popular. It says, how about the one with Valerie Bertinelli? Can't remember the name. One Day at a Time.
And Full House.
And Full House was a good one. One Day at a Time. Was that Valerie Bertinelli?
Yeah.
One day at a time, one day at a time. And her mom and her sister, they lived in an apartment with Schneider was the that still comes on. How about Shy King? Deborah, that's a new one on me. I've not heard that one.
Shy King.
All my favorite people enjoy seeing. Sounds like a good meal. It is going to be good, Pat. Stick around. Mama's stirring it over here. I said I was going to do all that. Y'all see what I've done. I sat right here on top. Mama's over there turning. Working like a dog, she says. Now, if you're working like Maggie, you ain't doing a whole lot. Laying around sleeping.
Maggie any day they are.
Or laying around sleeping, asking for a treat, running in and out the door.
Oh, the Upsman left her doggy treat. I laid it in on the mantle for you to get to later. She wasn't out there and she missed it.
Maggie would leave with the UPS guy or the FedEx guy any day of the week. She loves them. She will hear them in the neighborhood, and she starts barking, and she will go to the neighbor's house and bum for a treat. She has no shame in her game. Archie Bunker. Archie Bunker was a little controversial in his time, but wasn't it a good show with Edith and Archie? Those were the days. I don't own rights to that song either. I don't want to get in trouble. Greta, the guy that had, what happened to that little statement right there? I don't know. Oh, Tammy Muncie, the Waltons. Oh, I love the Waltons. I'd say the Waltons were close to the way things were here back in that same era. Back in the era of the Waltons is probably what many folks around here had and how they lived. You know, I always am amazed. Back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, right in that era, things began to change. But back in that era, you had multiple households living in the same house. You would have an aunt that lived with the family, and she helped with the kids, and she helped with the cooking and the cleaning. You would have grandparents like the Waltons who lived in the same house. So you would have grandmother passing her knowledge on down to the grandkids, and she would watch the grandkids, and she would help the mother with supper, and somewhere in there, everybody got to the 2.5 kids, a dog, and a picket fence era, and everybody wanted their own, and they all had to compartmentalize into their own little sections, and we lost a lot of family back then. I know I've heard Mama talk about, there was eight of them that the kids that lived. They had 2 that passed as infants, the first one and the last one. But there was always a cousin that lived with them, or maybe that cousin would move on and stay with somebody else, and then one of their aunts would move in for a while, wouldn't they, Mama? Yeah. And you had that heart of the family, and you couldn't help but learn and skills and the ways they would do things, and it was just amazing, you know, what institution family meant to everybody. And we still do. Don't get me wrong. We still love our families, and we still. But now, if you hear of 2 families living together or something, you're like, that's just not. You know, it's just not the norm like it once was. It was a wholesome time. The Waltons was a wholesome time. Yeah, on Archie, I always thought of son-in-law meathead. Hi, John and Momma. Hey, Charlotte, how are you? Little House on the Prairie. Wagon Train was my favorite, Elizabeth. I remember watching Wagon Train some. That's the one that says head them up, move them out, rawhide. No, is that the one?
That's rawhide.
That's rawhide, Mama said. I don't know if I remember Wagon Train. I remember seeing it in my adult, you know, since in the reruns, but I don't think I remember watching it as a child. I got my cookbook. Bessie, you got your cookbook? It's so nice. Thank you, Bessie. Cooking up something, make you some memories, and share it with us. Love all those Happy Family shows. Yeah, Get Smart. Oh, Nora, that one was always funny. He's the one that had the shoe and the phone and all that stuff. My grandmother taught me how to cook old-fashioned. Nothing in a box. Cheryl, my mama and grandma were the same way. My granny was the same way. It wasn't much out of the box. But we have adjusted to the semi-homemade stuff. We're going to use some rice out of a package because it's quick and easy. But we still like homemade. We still like stuff cooked from scratch. But every once in a while, you have to, you know, get out that can of wampum biscuits.
Wampum biscuits?
You know, the ones you wamp on the countertop before you open them. That's just the way it goes. And sometimes I have to say, I like some grand biscuits and not have to make the homemade. The homemade is easy to make, and you all can make them, but Mama, you outdid yourself. What a wonderful looking stirring job you did.
I flipped and turned.
So there's nothing wrong. Don't beat yourselves up. There's a lot more going on in your life than there was on the Waltons. A lot more meetings, a lot more time a lot more working outside the home, a lot more stuff going on. So if you do have to bring in a box of something every once in a while, that's okay. Give yourself permission to breathe a little. You know, if it's the difference between cooking a 100% homemade supper and being frazzled and having to do dishes, or spending an extra 20-30 minutes with your kids or your family, take the shortcut. Make a good meal. Make a healthy meal. But don't think that everything has to be done the way Granny used to do it, because Granny had a different life. There was a different time, a different era, and she wasn't as busy. She was busy. Don't get on here and think, oh, I have tons of respect for all my grandparents and those that came before us, and know what a wonderful job they did raising their families and doing all the work. And it was a non-stop process, but it was a different process. Grandparents and even my mom, you know, there wasn't running to every practice every evening and having practices on Sundays and having to go. These kids today have to keep a full day planner just to know what they're doing.
That's pitiful.
Just to know where they're headed. Just to know what town they're going to be in next weekend because they're on some team, which is wonderful. Sports and activities are wonderful team builders.
We never did. You never did have no practice on Wednesdays.
We never practiced on Wednesday. We were never on Sunday. We would not have practiced on Sunday. But the point of it is, things have changed, and we have to change a little bit with those things. Teams are wonderful, and I think kids are to participate, and it's a wonderful thing. But sometimes, I think they take stuff a little extreme. Sometimes it's a, you know, every day of the week, every holiday, you know, there's no time. We've lost a little bit of time for the family. If you do have kids at home, I don't have any kids at home.
You don't have no kids nowhere.
I don't have any kids. But we've been with kids our whole lives. We've had children in the home. It's just, you know, there's been situations where you have to do those kinds of things, and you enjoy them. But, you know, put a game out. Maybe on your dining room table, put a game, an old-fashioned board game, maybe a nice antique game that you find, maybe just checkers, and maybe that'll encourage them to sit down and take a moment and play something besides a video game. Or maybe you can designate a night of the week and say, this is the night we're going to have family game night, we're going to play one game, or maybe you're going to play 2 or 3 games in the same room. Enjoy yourselves. Build a little time. Mama, this is the first winter that we've had sickness, we've had little dab of remodeling here, that we've not put a puzzle out and left the puzzle on the kitchen table. Mama puts it on cardboard. We can move it off to eat if we eat over there. We don't eat a lot on our kitchen table. 95% of the time we eat here.
Yeah, right.
Maybe another 2% of the time we eat at the kitchen table. Or 3%, and 2% at the dining room table. That's usually, say, for holidays and special occasions. Okay. Not because we mean for it to be that way. It's just, this is simple, this is easy. We sit here at the island and we eat. And this is where we eat with you all and meet with you all. And discuss old shows and stuff and have a great time. And have a little coffee and drink a little water too, right, Mama?
Yeah.
Good old water.
I've got it already while you was talking.
Mama's let me know she's done it, and I've not done a thing.
Well, he cut up everything, and I just had
I've not done a thing, and Mama's been stuck through it all.
Poor little me.
Poor old Mama. Look right here what Mama did stir us up. Now, folks, all we did, you can see that cabbage, that mound of cabbage is gone, and she just rolled this so that we don't want. Sometimes I do want a good char on this, but not tonight. I didn't want it to be tough or in any way, but see, it's just perfect. It's steamed. It's got a good on it. The red beans have cooked up good. The cabbage looks good. Here is the rice pilaf Uncle Ben provided in 90 seconds. Wonderful.
He was so good.
And it's good times, good food, and easy. So this would qualify. This is hot sauce. You know what that's for. This would qualify as a semi-homemade, wonderful meal. Why do I dip out Mama's food? Somebody asked me. Because you see right here, I have to fight her like a 2-year-old. I dip her out a little bit more than she dips herself out. And I want her to eat a little bit more than she wants to eat. And y'all will hear her say, that's enough now, I don't want no more.
I did want that last spoonful.
But if I put it on there, most of the time she'll try to clean it up. Mama eats. There's nothing wrong with the way she eats, but I want her to eat a little bit more. I think she's starving. See, Mama, look at all that good protein.
I want some cabbage.
I sure say, let me dig you out some cabbage. Oh, looky there.
That's good. Thank you.
Look at there. Now, see, you would think with as much cabbage as I put in there, this would just be overflowing with cabbage, but not hardly. It's just not, that's just not the way cabbage does. I'm telling you, eating this reminds me of cabbage and garlic. I can't wait. And I don't know why. It seems like it's been so long, because really it hasn't been that long. Mama reminded me the other night, I said, we had our last tomatoes in August. She said, I think it was October. And I said,
October.
Mama, you're right. We did have our last tomatoes in October. It's not been that long at all. But here we are. And it just seems like it's been forever. So that's supper tonight. Red beans and rice with smoked sausage and cabbage. And that's simple, easy, quick supper tonight. Let's bless it and we'll enjoy it. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege of this meal. We thank you, dear Lord, for nourishing our bodies with it, dear Lord. We thank you for healing, and we thank you for answering prayer requests, dear Lord. We just ask you to answer all the prayer requests that are out there. Be with each and every person, and we know that you know the answer in your time and in your glory. We pray. Amen.
Amen.
Try it, Mama. You know what I forgot to put on it?
What?
You know, I was saying when I was sitting here, the only ingredient I'm going to put on it is salt and pepper.
Mama put it on there.
Mama did good, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious. I'm going to put a little bit of Frank's on mine. I love Frank's hot sauce. Not sponsored by, not anything. I've just always liked Frank's hot sauce. I don't do it so much now, but there was a time where I counted Frank's hot sauce on a saltine as a snack. I would just take the saltine, put Frank's hot sauce on it, and I've done that for the longest. And Mama said, what are you doing? I said, I'm craving Frank's hot sauce.
I worried about it.
But this is a wonderful, quick, and easy meal. If you're looking for something to get the supper hour done, may I recommend cabbage, smoked sausage, red beans, and a little bit of rice to go under it. You could do other things with it. You could do potatoes, French fried potatoes. You could do butter potatoes. You could do steamed potatoes. Or you could do broccoli. There's all kinds of wonderful things you can add. A little bit of H2O. Mama, you try that Frank's hot sauce.
No, thank you.
It might take care of that cough.
You think it'd clear my throat?
It probably would, Mama.
Yeah. I'd be up all night of walking.
Hey, Mama.
Oh, no.
Mama, why won't lobsters share?
I want lobster share.
Mm-hmm. Why will a lobster not share? I like Crystal hot sauce better. Susan, I've never tried that. Texas Pete Frank's is about the limit of where I've been with hot sauces. And I like Texas Pete. I like Texas Pete on hot dogs, but I like Frank's. Frank's has got a good flavor to me, not just hot. There's a flavor to it.
You know, I don't know why lobsters won't share.
Does anybody know the answer?
Because they pinch it up.
Because they pinch. Why will lobsters not share? Somebody tell Mama.
No.
No, I don't seem to have it, Mama. Does anyone have the answer? I don't want to jump too quick.
They won't share because
I love fried potatoes with onions too and
they're
sausage.
a selfish fish. A shellfish.
Oh! Mama! I am really surprised. You are a smart lady,
I am
Mama.
really surprised too.
Lobsters won't share because they're shellfish. Shellfish. Oh, Mama, you did good.
Oh, Lord, I'm shocked.
Mama, you got that good. I was waiting for somebody to tell you the answer, and you got it. Oh.
That was just a pure wild guess.
Well, Mama, I don't see nobody else answering either. They may be, because sometimes the comments don't match the timing. Because they're shellfish, they're Sophie got it. I love Frank's. Yeah, I love it, Arlene. I just love it. Because they're shellfish, Diana got it. They're starting to come in. You may have been on there before. Because they're too crabby, Sherry says. Sherry, that's a good answer too.
Good one.
Pamela says shellfish. Hey, from Georgia, Carol. Is it? Oh, Carol Dalton. How are you, Hayes? Carol Dalton Hayes. How are you? Hello, John and Momma. From Fairfield, Illinois. Hello, Miss Nola. How are you tonight? Claws, they do not want to. That's cute too, Deborah. Claws, they do not want to.
That's right. I said they're pinchers.
Debbie, that was cute. What does she win? Barbara, I don't know. I didn't get her anything. I should have.
I don't win nothing.
She wins bragging rights. And she got that one. That's all Mama wants us to say. I got it. Yeah. We talked about this last night in case you missed it. We want you all to be a part of this. So if you would send us in, mail us to P.O. Box 918, Jellico, Tennessee. I'm still using my same little piece of paper here. John Davis, P.O. Box 918, Jellico, Tennessee, 37762. You will mail us in letters. We've not done any participation mail like that. And just say, hey Mama, and give us a hey Mama riddle or joke. Something maybe your child has told you, something we want all of them to be child worthy though. We don't do anything that's not. So our jokes, we want anything that we tell on this program, we want your child to be able to go to his second grade class and tell it and give a laugh. That's the whole point of this, is to get people in the idea of laughing. Laughter doeth the body good. So mail us in something, hey Mama, and put your joke. If it's got a story that goes with it, if your child come home and told you, that's great. Also, mail us, Dear John and Momma, and this is like an advice column. We just want you to ask advice, talk, but we will read it on the air and let everyone talk about it. Also, if you want to send in children's recipes, your grandchildren, your children, give us the recipe. Now, what recipes we're looking for is their favorite meal. And we want you to just simply ask them, hey, Johnny, how do you make macaroni and cheese? You love it so good. What's the recipe? How do you make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? How do you make hamburgers, hot dogs, pizza? I want to hear them and ask them things like, what do you put in it? What do you start with? How long do you cook it? Those kind of things.
That one little boy said you cooked macaroni and cheese for 16 hours.
16 hours. I thought, that's probably the truth. It does take a long time for good food. But just send us in those letters, and we'll start sharing them, and we'll make it a segment on our shows. So we may have a Dear John and Momma segment, and we'll say, today's letter comes from, we'll tell your name, and we won't tell your address. We may tell your city or your state. And we'll say, Dear John and Momma, I want to know and it may be something, and I'm not saying we're an expert on it, I'm not saying we'll know the answer, but we'll share it with everybody, and you'll have several answers, and you'll have several ideas, and we'll all talk about them together. It would just be a way for all of us to communicate, and for y'all to have a part of it, and y'all to be able to write in stuff. And then too, on the Hey Mama jokes, you can get credit for your joke, because so many times y'all send them to me in Messenger, or you send them to me on here, and I'm thinking, I'll remember that one. And sometimes I remember it, and sometimes I don't. And sometimes I remember who you are, and sometimes I don't. So if you'll write it out, and I want to start a file folder, and I just want to lay them in there by date, and we'll have them saved up, and we'll know what they were. Just something different, something fun, and something we can all join in together and enjoy together, because that's what this is all about. Coffee time is not about the coffee, it's about the time. Coffee time, we don't talk a lot about coffee other than how much I love it.
How much you drink.
And how much I drink. But it's about the time. It's about getting together and spending some time together and escaping, taking a little coffee break from this world that we're living in. It's a wonderful world. It's a wonderful life. But sometimes we just need to let all of it go, take a moment, and just chat. Just chat, just have a good time, and just enjoy each other. Did you and Mama have bad winds last night? Yes, Bryn, we did.
It turned over those heavy wrought iron chairs.
We have got those old-timey fan-back wrought iron chairs, you know, that you see on all southern porches. You wouldn't think that there's a piece on that because it's really skinny little pieces. You wouldn't think there was anything on that chair that could catch wind. You would think wind would sail right through it. It turned them over. It turned over some wrought iron stuff. Turned over another wrought iron chair. I can see a little bit how it could have been turned over, but it's a heavy chair.
Real heavy.
I heard the wind on the windows. I heard the wind howling. It was a low-full, moanful, whoo, you know, those wind storms you have. And then, after all that commotion last night, we wake up this morning to just a sketch of snow on the roofs and on the everything. There's just this little snow. And it didn't just vanish away. It lingered all day until late this afternoon. We got a little bit of rain. And now we're back down to 30 degrees. Now, normally, in East Tennessee anyway, right here where we're at, this is the week of our tease of spring. Happy birthday, Melanie. Today is her birthday.
Yeah.
That's my first cousin. And I was always jealous because her birthday was in February the 18th. And we'd be outside playing on her birthday. Mine was March 29th, and it would be snowing on my birthday here. And I was thinking it's always prettier on her birthday than it is mine, and mine's later. But anyway, this is usually the week. This is the week that we usually get a little warm weather, spring, and sometimes we worry about our plants because your little buds will pop out, and you think, oh, they're going to get nipped. But anyway, that is not this week. We've had snow, and it's windy, and we've had all kinds of little getting-togethers here. But anyway, we'll take it because that's what we got, and we'll enjoy it. Y'all have a great Friday night. It's just 7 o'clock. The night is still young. You can watch a movie. You can make some popcorn. Y'all can play that game we talked about. Enjoy your family and enjoy your night. And have a great day tomorrow. We'll be on here in the morning. We won't be making biscuits and gravy, though, because that was today.
We got to work tomorrow.
Mama says we got to work tomorrow. You got to get up early in the morning and clock in, she said. Clock in. Get yourself busy. Mama, what are we going to do tomorrow?
We're going to try to put some of this stuff back where it belongs.
Try to put everything back where it belongs, she said. Which they ain't that much out of place. But Mama has started on some spring cleaning and rearranging. Today, Mama cleaned out cabinets and rearranged. I went to get something out of the cabinet. I said, Mama, she said, I moved that to this other drawer over here. And I moved everything that's in that drawer to this drawer. That's spring cleaning. It's time to wash the windows down real good. They get it twice a year. They get it in between times, a little here and a little there, but they get completely cleaned out. Curtains taken down. Window sills cleaned inside and out at least twice a year in the South. I don't know how you all manage yours, but we have fall cleaning, we have spring cleaning. Fall cleaning really also known as holiday cleaning, getting ready for the holidays. The holidays will be here. We got to get this house clean, get everything in order before I start decorating. Amen?
Yeah.
Spring cleaning is Easter's coming. I wanted this house cleaned before Easter. People will be here for Easter lunch.
Get out the winter dust and everything.
So that's Mama's, that's what we're going to be doing. Starting spring cleaning. But y'all have a great night. This is my second or third goodbye. So I've got probably 2 more coming, but I'm going to go ahead and jump off and say, y'all have a great night. Find you something good to eat and make you some memories. Say good night, Mama.
Good night, Mama, and God bless you all.
Bye.